Hi everyone, it's Sloan Rhodes here with your spiritual guidance for the week of March 11th, 2018. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I'm going to be drawing three cards from the, let's start here. Three cards from the Butterfly Life Changes deck by Doreen Virtue. One card in the position of what our ego may try to distract us with, one card in the position of what our heart asks that we explore further, and one card in the position of what we can look forward to regardless. And this will be based on the overarching theme, which will be from the Chakra Reading Card deck by Rochelle Sharman. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is for all astrological signs. We're looking at the energetic weather as it comes on through the week. And just to let everyone know that my Oracle card and Tarot card courses are coming up very, very soon. I'm so excited. I think everyone's going to really love them. I've designed them to be very empowering for people. So I've created a methodology for reading so that people can, who are interested in reading Oracle and Tarot cards or continuing to delve further into it, can feel confident during reading. So I'm super excited to share it with everybody. Those courses will be available for purchase on the website in a week or two. And then for those of you who don't know, I also am a Reiki practitioner, so I do Reiki long distance as well as in person. And I have a very popular combination of tarot and Reiki that I do. So if you're interested in something like that, you can head on over to the website. There's links here as well as below in order to book your session. And what else do I have? Oh, on my website, I have a resources page where I offer free, a list of free resources for all kinds of different things that you might be interested in. So crystals, references, all kinds of stuff over there. So if you are interested, it's all free. It's all for you to explore if you desire. So let's go ahead and get started. March 11th, 2018. Universal light. Ah, beautiful energy. And Mother Earth. Wow, that is incredible. All right, so we have the universal light as the overarching theme here. What a beautiful card. This is related to the Soul Star chakra, which is roughly about 6 inches above your crown chakra. And the Soul Star chakra is, you can look at it as a bridge where a divine light, the light of spirit, the light of your soul, really, enters into the physical incarnation of you. It's beautiful, beautiful energy. Very grand, very loving, very powerful. So you may, it may be a week where you experience some fatigue as you try to hold this light in. And then we have Mother Earth. You're grounding this very, very beautifully here into the base chakra, into the ground. It's actually below the base chakra here with the Mother Earth energy. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that we have these two seemingly opposite ends of the spectrum, right? We have this divine light coming in, and then we have it being grounded in the physical incarnation of Mother Earth, of ourselves. It's really, really lovely energy. We are, going through, many of us are going through these spiritual awakenings, these ascensions, and with the universal light, it can feel very, very tiring sometimes, and it can manifest as aches and pains, can manifest as illnesses, everything. As you try to hold more light, and as Mother Earth tries to hold more light, more universal light tries to ascend, not tries, she does, it's happening naturally, but I use these words. As this process is undergoing, many things come up in order to process them and heal them, resolve them. So many conflicts, issues, and in terms of our physicality, aches, pains, detoxing occurring. So always check with your medical doctor or your holistic doctor. But if you have been experiencing a lot of fatigue, aches and pains, illnesses, it may be associated with this light that's coming in as your body tries to process it. What is she calling this? Hang on one second. I just want to look at the little booklet. The Earth Star chakra is what she's referring to it as. This is so beautiful. I love this deck. I mean, that universal light, I mean, talk about just connected to the cosmos, to the all it is. It's just so beautiful. It may be that during this week, too, that kind of related to last week that I talked about this idea of expanding your worldview, right? As I talked about last week, you know, where your feet are on the ground, sometimes we tend to, where we are physically located, we can sometimes become overly identified with everything that's around us, including cultural norms, societal expectations. And so you may find, as this universal light comes in more fully, that you are more aware of and more open to many variations of cultural paradigms and different ways of being in the world that perhaps you weren't aware of before, and maybe, or that you were aware of but you weren't necessarily as open to, and now you're more open or curious even to know about other cultures, other societies, how do other people do things, moving away from a more myopic viewpoint. And it may, you know, you may see it on the very practical level as you may change friend groups. It may not even be people who are culturally different from you, but they have a different way of being in the world. They have a different way of thinking. You know, it's not your usual type, let's say, of people that you want to hang out with, or romantic relationships, or all of that. You are expanding beautifully, just as you're meant to. The perfect time for you. All right, so our ego may try to distract us with welcome the new. Our heart asks that we explore further sobriety. And we have dietary change in terms of what we can look forward to regardless. And we have motivation under the deck. Okay. So as I mentioned, the overarching theme is this universal light. I mean, it's very hard to be focused in on just ourselves when, with all this universal light flooding Mother Earth, flooding our bodies, everything being processed, right? Detoxing, as I mentioned. We have sobriety. Your heart asks that you explore this further. We have dietary change, right? Wanting to, you know, if we look at Mother Earth as the macro and our own incarnation, our own physical body as being the micro, we see that it's important to nurture her, right? To nurture ourselves, to drink lots of water, to eat well, to make some changes in the way that we care for Mother Earth, the way we care for ourselves, the micro and the macro reflecting one another here. Our ego may try to distract us with welcome the new. You know, we have universal light coming in. Everything, you know, looking different. Other cultures, other societies, viewpoints, everything. Recognizing that we're all one, and those jagged edges of separation, those sharp edges, may come, you know, up more frequently this week, or it may bother you. But remember, the bothering, the annoyance, the fear, even, can sometimes just be the change, not necessarily what's coming, but just the change. You know, sometimes just the change itself is enough to do us in, to just, you know, send us over the edge. So it's not necessarily that it's so different. It's just that we're not wanting to make the change, right? Sometimes when, you know, when things are, we're being asked to make a big shift. Here we are, you know, spiritual awakening, ascension. We're being asked to make a big shift, you know, in terms of our planetary consciousness. And sometimes we don't want to. And so the ego may, you know, maybe like a bit resistant, or even a lot resistant this week. And it may show up in terms of, you know, how we see things on a more global level. And it may also be how we manage and go about our daily lives with our family and friends, that we may find that either, you know, as I mentioned, there may be an idea and a desire to change friend groups or change romantic types, this kind of thing. Even jobs, different workplace cultures, you know, or you may try to change, you may change within the culture of your work, and it's very different, and people are resistant to that as well. It even may show up in terms of there may be new things being implemented at work, new policies, this kind of thing. And, the resistance comes in like, I like things, don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I like this and this. And again, people may be resistant as well. So you can see how it plays out on a more micro level. And then our heart is asking that we explore further sobriety. Doesn't mean that that life has to be dry. It means that you're seeing things very, very clearly. You are detoxing relationships, friend groups, paradigms, cultural understandings or misunderstandings. It's with sobriety comes incredible clarity because you've been subdued, right? You haven't been able to see things clearly because there's been this filter. And when you're going, when you have sobriety, you see everything, with a lot more clarity. And it can feel frightening, but the heart says it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be sober, have a sober approach as well. It may even come in that you are more sober, you're more serious this week. You may not take things as lightly, and your heart is saying it's okay. It's okay to be serious. It's okay to, doesn't mean that it can't be joyful, but you're no longer willing to laugh things off that were hurtful or discriminatory. There's it's more careful. Let's say there's more care and consideration. There's more care and consideration with the sobriety card. I mean, look at all this purple. It's such a spiritual energy here. Look at that. It's all purple flowers here. And then we have dietary change. Right? Of course, just in terms of the text of the card, it's about changing your diet, making positive changes, cleansing. I see all the white, right? So we have like a blank slate. You're able to reconnect more to what feels good for your body. Now, a lot of times we go through life and we eat these foods, and all of a sudden we drink a lot of soda or whatever, and it seems fine. Then one day we're like, oh, and so it's kind of like you can start over. But there's a little bit of a detox there. So just be gentle upon yourself. Again, the sobriety, referring to making choices that are more healthful. Again, you're treating Mother Earth more carefully, more gently. And you have a lot of motivation here. There's a lot of motivation. Maybe you just can't stand the way your body feels. Maybe you can't stand the way that you're seeing the way that you are upon Mother Earth, the way that maybe you are disconnected from Mother Earth, or maybe the motivation isn't from a place of oh, I can't stand that, but from more of a pull of, I'm so excited to see what I can do to nurture myself, to nurture the earth. You can see the difference there, coming from a place of more excitement, because the motivation here is very nurturing. So it feels less of a, I hate this, therefore I'm motivated to do something else. It's more of a, this is going to feel so good. I'm motivated because I'm looking for more gentleness, more nurturing, more care, more consideration in my life in terms of how I treat my body, in terms of how I, in the environment I work in, I live in. Am I open? You can even say, am I open in this moment to allowing more universal light into this moment? What does that mean for me? There's so many different and fun ways to, and pleasurable, enjoyable ways to go about this. Sobriety, again, it can be more serious, but it doesn't mean it's less joyful. We still have all that beautiful, happy yellow energy there. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say. The ego likes the familiar. The ego does tend to get threatened by something that's different. So it may kick up a bit of a fuss in terms of fear and anxiety and this kind of thing. Again, it could be people around you, or it could be you. Just note it, and say, I understand that I don't like change, or I understand that change is happening, or if someone else is acting that way, you can just, acknowledge their concerns, but still continue to take yourself seriously in the changes that you're being called to make. You don't have to put up a fight. You don't have to argue with anybody. You just quietly go about doing what's healthy and right for you. They're going to have their little spin out, if it's someone else, but you keep moving forward in a way that feels healthy and right and gives you a sense of strength. Again, the sobriety is kind of like a strength of character in some ways, but that feels a little judgmental. So, like if you don't have it, you have less character. I don't mean it that way. It's more like maybe a character is not the right word, like a strength of knowing. Like I'm called upon. I'm holding more light, more love within my cells, and with that comes movement, a desire to move on, to make some changes, to detox in ways that feel nurturing and healthy for me. Because when you begin to hold more light, within the very cells of your being, you can't go backwards. You can't not. It's like once the situation becomes illuminated, you can no longer not see the situation as it is. It's kind of like that. Once you begin to hold more light and love within the very cells of your being, you can't not hold that love and light within you anymore. You have to keep moving towards the light. And the ego doesn't, that's threatening to the ego, because the ego thrives in the fear and the anxiety, not because the ego's bad, but because that's the familiar pattern that the ego knows. So a lot there. I feel like I've gone on for a long time about this. So anyway, I wish you much love for the week. I will see you maybe at your private appointment and or over on the website. And in the meantime, I wish you much love as always.